Welcome back to Pause 23. This is Jen, and this is a space where we remind you each and every time that your power truly is in the pause. Today we are entering into step 4 of our 7-step journey to becoming authentically you. Today we are looking at honoring our emotions and intuition. Now, if you have been here for the first 3 steps, you will recall that we have looked at becoming aware of your inner whisper, releasing the mask of people-pleasing in step 2. Step 3 brought us to becoming aware of what it means to reclaim your truth. And right now here in this step, in step 4, we are inviting you to go deeper. This step asks you to listen not only with your mind, but also with your heart, mind, soul, your entire whole being. Most of us have learned, directly or indirectly, that emotions are perhaps inconvenient, dramatic, or something to just get over. Many of us never learned that intuition is actually not irrational, but that intuition is something that we can trust. Our own knowing can be trusted. Many of us didn't learn that. So we tuck away our feelings. We've tucked them away. We've buried them. We've hid them. We've ignored them. We overrode our signals, our inner whispers. We shrank our emotional needs. We dimmed our light. We silenced ourselves simply to make room for others. But here's the truth. Emotions are actually messengers, not problems. I had come upon this, this thought a few months back, and it just really was a ha-ha moment for me. Emotions are messengers, not problems. And your intuition, your inner whisper, is your built-in guidance system, your own GPS, your own compass that has always been on your side. The truth is, when you ignore your emotions, you disconnect from your wisdom. When you doubt your intuition, you disconnect from your direction. So today we are going to practice gently reconnecting ourselves with both. You do not have to fix your emotions. You do not have to justify your intuition. Your only quote-unquote job is to listen, to honor, and to allow these inner guides, your intuition, your inner whisper, to speak again. So emotions are our information. They are not a weakness. They are not drama. And they are not an inconvenience. Although sometimes they may be labeled that way, or you may label them that way, but they're not. Every emotion that you feel is an experience. It is not yours to hold on to. It is something you are experiencing. And life is all about experiences. Every emotion is a signal. It's helping you realize what matters, what hurts, when a boundary is needed, or when something is nourishing you. I think it's important to take note here that when we are talking about emotions, and we're talking about emotions can bring up feelings of hurt, it can indicate to us when a boundary is needed. The other side of this is the more positive, uplifting side. Our emotions can allow us to feel joy. They can allow us to experience happiness and peace and bliss. And that is what I mean. And that is what is intended when you say when something is nourishing you. So emotions do bring the dark and the light. And it's about understanding that they're just information. They are not something you need to hold on to forever. They are something that we can take, we can be aware of, we can feel, we can acknowledge, and we can learn from it. And the thing about emotions is, you ready for this? Emotions become loud when they've been ignored. Anger can mean perhaps a boundary has been crossed. Sadness can indicate that you've lost connection or support. Anxiety can be bringing awareness to perhaps the fact that you are out of alignment or out of safety. Joy can indicate you're on the right path. So your job here, again, is not to silence emotion, but to listen to what the emotion is trying to communicate to you. Intuition speaks in the body. Intuition speaks in the body. It can show up as a heaviness or an expansion, a tightening, or a sense of calm. Perhaps your intuition is giving you this feeling of being pulled forward, or perhaps you are being met with resistance. You know, sometimes life is easy peasy, everything is good, and then other times it feels like you are trying to walk through cold molasses. You are trying to take steps and there's resistance, it's just not working. It doesn't mean you're on the wrong path, but maybe it means that you need to reassess, readdress, what is this emotion bringing up? Why are you feeling a resistance? Or perhaps the intuition, your inner whisper, is just showing up as a quiet knowing that doesn't need proof. Intuition is subtle at first, but it is always steady. It will keep coming back until you give it the attention that your inner whisper is giving you. So emotions and our intuition, they work together. Okay, so when you feel confused, emotions give you clues. When you feel pulled in different directions, intuition can help you choose. Those different directions, each direction is going to have a different outcome. Some outcomes are going to lead to easier paths. Other outcomes are perhaps going to give you the opportunity to experience more emotions, more options. But all of that is giving you more experience, more opportunities to learn who you truly are and what feels right. And together, emotions and intuitions, they form the beginning of alignment. Alignment. What is your body? What is your soul truly meant to be doing in this journey? As I've mentioned many times before in the other steps and just in life in general, there is no time limit on this, and this isn't a quick process. Okay, honoring your emotions doesn't mean acting on them immediately. Okay, again, it's about the awareness, and it simply means acknowledging our emotions without judgment. And that can look something like you simply saying, I see you. I hear you. And the big one here is, I'm not abandoning you. Okay, so if those emotions are making us feel like we're being left, or that we're going to be, in a state of distress or not safe, I'm not abandoning you. I see you, emotions. I hear you. I see you. I feel you. We got this. We're okay. Okay, acknowledging is often healing enough to release that big pent up emotional pressure that you've been holding on to. A lot of times, and as you begin to practice this, a lot of times you're going to realize that once you start to acknowledge something, instead of just pushing it down, instead of not taking a moment to figure out where that anger is coming from, where that joy is coming from, we don't allow ourselves to tune into ourselves. And when we begin to acknowledge, we begin to realize that I didn't really need to fear that emotion. It's okay. I didn't need to let it stop me. I can use that emotion to let it guide me, to let it learn, to let it help me learn, and to build my self-love, to build my self-confidence, to build my self-strength. And the thing about intuition, it's almost kind of like your intuition is like a muscle, in the sense that your intuition strengthens with use. So the more you listen, the clearer it gets. The more we practice trusting it, the louder it becomes. And the more you respond to it, to whatever that emotion is unveiling to you, the more aligned your life feels, because you are no longer letting those heavy emotions, those past, the shame, the guilt, the fear, the what ifs, all of that, you are learning to understand that it's not here to hold you back. It is here to guide you, to give you the ability to recognize your worth, to let your light fully shine as you were intended to shine. So I want to offer up a couple of little questions here for you to ponder. Perhaps pause this podcast and jot them down and take a look at them with gentleness, with compassion, with kindness, and with no judgment. Okay. So which emotion in your life tends to show up the loudest? And once you start to identify those emotions, or that emotion, and if there is many, pick the first one that pops up. Pick the first word, the first emotion that pops out, and go with that one. There may be others, but let's do one at a time. This is new. This is practice. This is slowing down. This is you becoming in touch with yourself. And once you have that emotion acknowledged and identified that's coming up the loudest, ask yourself, what might it be trying to communicate with you? What might it be trying to bring your awareness to? And then another question is, where in your life do you feel a quiet knowing that you've been ignoring or postponing, stuffing down inside, pretending isn't there? Again, just take note with no judgment. Okay, and as you begin to look at these things, you might begin to understand and see things a little more clearly, and have some ability to better understand that it's okay to acknowledge these emotions, to give them a name, and to give them some attention, give them some love. So right now, I'd like to do a little mini internal practice with you all. This is just a little 1-minute guided pause. So I invite you to close your eyes. Place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly if you can, and if not, then just visualize one on your heart and one on your belly. Take a slow breath in and ask yourself, what emotion in me needs acknowledgement today? What emotion in me needs acknowledgement today? And then just pause. Think about that for a moment. And then ask yourself, and what is my intuition, my inner whisper, gently nudging me toward? Okay, and let these responses rise without forcing them, without judgment, without trying to analyze. Just let them come. Okay, and maybe you want it to pause these and go write these down and come back to them throughout the day as a reminder. So this step here is all about deep inner listening. Okay, we are being invited to soften the urge to judge what you feel. We are being urged to no longer suppress your needs and no longer override your inner wisdom that your body is constantly offering. That inner whisper, your inner wisdom. Okay, and I'd like to remind you, or maybe even for the first time point out to you, that your emotions are not wrong. Your emotions are not wrong. Your intuition is not a mystery. Both are forms of truth. Your truth. Your emotions are messengers. Every emotion, yes, even the uncomfortable ones, exist to communicate something important to you. The pain that we feel reminds us that something is not right. Sadness says something needs to be released. Anger is letting you know that a boundary has been crossed. Fear says something needs safety. Joy says, more of this, please. Curiosity says, pay attention. And peace says, you are aligned. But in our path, in our journey, many of us were taught to hide our emotions, to self-regulate too quickly, to be strong, to stay agreeable, to avoid discomfort. Perhaps we were taught to not take up space. And perhaps we were told to explain instead of feel. Right? To try and justify what we're going through. Sometimes we don't need to justify. Sometimes we just need to let ourselves feel. Without judgment, without criticizing, without anything else. Just to feel it and know that it's okay. And sometimes we were taught to smile. Just be quiet and smile. Don't express what you're feeling. Just be quiet and smile. So because of that, we grow up disconnected from the messages inside us, from our inner whisper, from our intuition, from our own internal GPS system. Okay, the deeper knowing beneath the emotion, that's the quiet clarity beneath the noise. But intuition often gets dismissed when logic steps in, when fear feels safer, when you don't trust yourself. And your intuition also gets dismissed when you constantly seek permission from outside sources. Okay? And it also gets dismissed when you get so used to betraying your own needs. So honoring your emotion and your intuition does not mean acting on every feeling. You do not have to act on every feeling. We can learn to acknowledge it. We can learn to realize that it's there, but we don't have to act on it. Okay, we're talking here about the reactions, maybe versus the responding. Okay, so what this means is you're not going to act on it, but it means you're going to listen. It means you're going to validate. It means you're going to gently begin to understand that these emotions are feelings and it's okay that you are having them. They are messengers. It means making space in your body, mind, and soul to feel and understand we don't need to hold on to emotions. And it means checking inward before outward. It means trusting in yourself that we have the answers inside and that we don't have to be ashamed of our emotions. Okay, so throughout the day, just practice stopping and saying, what am I feeling right now? Without judgment, without anything, just say, oh yeah, okay, I'm feeling that. All right, cool. This is uncomfortable. This is ick. This is draining. Okay, I see you there. I see the fear. I see the anger. I see the impatience. I see whatever it is you're feeling. Just see it. And then as time goes on, perhaps you want to ask yourself, what is my intuition quietly telling me beneath this emotion? If you're feeling impatient, if you're wanting to rush, maybe this is your intuition saying, hey, hi, I need you to just take a little break right now. I need you to just breathe. I know it's busy. I know life is chaotic, but can you just breathe for just a minute? Just take an intentional breath. Maybe that's what your impatience is telling you. Your inner world holds answers your mind often overlooks. Our mind gets held up sometimes in the logic, whereas in our inner soul, our intuition, it has the answers. Okay? So remember, you don't need to fix anything. We just need to practice acknowledging what is present. I'm going to leave you now with a mantra for you to take throughout the day with you, an affirmation. And then we'll go into the closing, and there will be a guided meditation for this step, but it is going to be in a separate recording. So be sure to check that out as well. And remember, your power truly is in the pause. And here is your affirmation. My emotions guide me, and my intuition leads me. Okay, we'll repeat that again at the end, but just remember that your emotions and your intuition are not obstacles. They are guidance systems. Okay, so yes, we might think it's an obstacle because it might create, a little ripple in the path that we're on, and that's okay. Obstacles are okay until we choose to tell ourselves they're not. Okay, so these little obstacles are your guidance systems. Your emotions and your intuitions rise to tell you something important. They speak because something in you is ready to be understood. And as I've mentioned with all the other steps, this is not a do this step, check the box, and move on and leave this step in the past. No, this is an ebb and flow. This is a dance. This is remembering things from step one in certain parts. Oh yeah, remembering inner whisper. This is taking a moment to pause. Oh, am I people pleasing or am I putting myself first? All of these steps you are going to return to many times on this journey. Okay, some days your emotions are going to feel so overwhelming. And those days, that's your reminder to be gentle with yourself, to be kind, to slow down. Other days, your intuition may feel faint. This is all normal. This is human. And this is the dance of alignment, of living your true, authentic life as the true, beautiful soul that you were meant to shine as. So honor what rises. Listen inward before outward. And remember, every pause is a return to your inner world, to your inner whisper, to your understanding, to your inner GPS. So thank you for walking with me in step 4. And if you haven't checked out the previous ones, please go check them out. And in step 5, we are going to explore what wanting more really means for you and how to define a life that truly aligns with your soul. How to confidently define your authentically you life. So remember, here's your affirmation. My emotions guide me and my intuition leads me. All right, friends, your power is truly in the pause. Namaste.